Hi, and welcome to the Dingers Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch. This is episode 72. I'm here with my boys, Jeffrey and Kevin. Jeff, I heard you were a little bit of Chef Boyardee this weekend, making some Chicago-style deep dish pizzas. How was that?
Oh, it was tasty. It was delicious. Look at that beautiful bastard. That's all of 4 inches tall, people, and it is just stuffed to the gills with all sorts of sausage, pepperoni, Canadian bacon, peppers, mushrooms, black olives, and a ton of cheese. And I actually made the pizza sauce as well.
Kevin, did you get a call from Jeffrey this weekend?
He sent me a couple of texts, but he didn't offer any food. He just talked about how, it was so big he couldn't handle 6 slices of it, so he just cut it into 3.
That's right.
Because, that's a lot of pizza, and I didn't get invited. Did you get invited?
No.
And this isn't your first pizza this week that you've made like this, is it, Jeff?
That was my encore. That was last night. So the one I made on Saturday, I actually demolished the entire thing and felt really good about myself. It's truly amazing if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish anything. But I came up lame yesterday.
I know you have a thing with food, and with like when the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, you had to make your lasagna. Is this going to replace your lasagna? Like, is this going to be your opening day? Are you like preparing for opening day that you're going to make this Chicago style deep dish pizza? Or
boy, I don't know. Both that pizza and the lasagna are time consuming to make. They're normally like a rainy day thing, or if you need some good juju and the Cubs to win so they can keep playing. I'm not sure, but for my first time out making a deep dish pizza like that, like I hit a home run.
Me want some Winnie on the opening day. So you might have to.
I'm kind of thinking maybe
put on the big boy pants and make us a deep dish pizza, and you can bring some over to Kevin and I. I'm usually a brat guy on opening day, but
I was kind of thinking maybe like Italian beef sandwiches for opening day. I don't know yet. I like a lot of things Chicago, meatball subs, beef sandwiches, pizza.
There you go.
Nice.
Well, Kevin, what's new with you?
Not a whole lot. Just kind of getting back into the grind after spring break. Had to go get a new toothbrush today. Everything went well.
There you go. Did you get like orbital one or just traditional?
Just traditional, the one the dentist gives you.
Nice.
Yeah, just had to keep it clean, keep it going. Doing well though. Yeah, pretty boring on my part, but I heard you were up late last night, Mitch. You had some late night shenanigans afoot.
Jake did. Yeah, Jake, the other host of the Dinger podcast, who's not on tonight. His mom's keeping him in. He got in trouble, stayed out late last night, past his bedtime. So he's not here tonight, but we were we were up in our fantasy baseball draft last night. I think I put together myself a championship team. My team name is See You Later Alligator. And See You Later Alligator in 4. I don't care who we play. We're going to win the ship this year. So I'm excited. I got a good team. My strategy was I'm going to draft solid pitchers that pitch in the NL Central because they're going to rack up the dubs when they face the Reds and Pirates at least 18 times. So that was my goal. I got Corbin Burns. I did get Wilson Contreras as my catcher.
Nice.
I like my team. I might have to make some moves along the way to shore up the outfield, but I'm feeling pretty confident. I do believe that Jake is like the reigning champion, so my goal is to take him down in this league.
I like it.
That might be a daunting task. Jake seems like a stat man and has like his finger on the pulse of everybody.
So he has like 5 or 6 fantasy baseball leagues. There's one guy that is in 15.
50, holy smokes.
15 fantasy baseball leagues in 1 year. You probably know him. He's part of Cubs on, or he's part of On Tap Sports Network. The Cubs on Tap. I think he does that sometimes. It's a great league. We got Mike Dubs, who's been on our podcast, big Cubs Twitter guy. We got Cody from CGAO podcast. We have the guys from Cubs on Tap on. We have Jake. It's a lot of your favorites from Cubs Twitter all in one place. Having a good old time. We're excited. I'm excited to get back into fantasy. I haven't done fantasy baseball in like 10 years.
Right.
So it's like riding a bike. We're gonna get back on it and we're gonna ride ourselves to a championship. So yeah. Dingers is proudly part of the ChyCitySports.com podcasting network. Remember, we're free and available wherever you download your favorite podcasts. We're also on YouTube, so go check out the Chi City Sports YouTube channel where you can get extra Dinger Cubs content and join the conversation. Follow us on Twitter at Dinger Cubs. We love interacting with you. We love interacting with you while we're doing the podcast, doing the show. So jump on the YouTube, comment, ask us any questions during the live shows. We love interacting with you there as well. Guys, do you like baseball?
Absolutely.
I love baseball.
Do you like beer?
Oh,
yep.
I love beer. I've probably had 1,897 beers in my life.
Yeah, you seem like a guy that likes beer. Have you ever
Love
tried
the
Toppling
beer.
Goliath beer?
Oh yeah,
The
Yeah,
one
over
with
here.
the one with the dinosaur on it, the Pseudo Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Tonight I am drinking out of a Pseudo Sue glass,
Oh, that's awesome.
but I am drinking their sour, and it's a strawberry shortcake sour. It is yummy. It
Tell
is.
you what,
It
that's
tastes.
that's a nice piece of marketing there. It reminds me of the Flintstones glasses you could get at Harvest
Right?
when we were kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I love it. But it's
Those look awesome.
the beer is so good.
That's what I'm trying. So Pseudo Sue is my favorite Toppling Goliath beer, hands down. And I'm trying their double dry hop Pseudo Sue. And this is taking it for, a run for its money. This is a tasty, tasty beverage.
I got a Digital Dawn that's going down tonight.
Ruh-roh. Yeah. Tasty stuff. Gotta love your Toppling Goliath.
Yep. Well, let's get into talking a
Yeah.
little bit of the hot topics in the MLB. And the Cardinals did it to us. They did us dirty. It wasn't bad enough that we had to deal with the farewell tour of Yadier Molina. Now we get the farewell tour of Yadier Molina in Albert Pujols. They signed him to a 1-year deal. He's back. And I don't know if you saw the video today of Yadier Molina, like getting introduced back into the St. Louis Cardinals minor league stadium. And like his entrance, he comes out of right field corner and just walks. It's like,
Okay, so ladies
He either
and
forgot
gentlemen,
his
what you're
cane.
Witnessing here is a racehorse way past his prime that is heading to the pasture to eat oats and grass and hay and get fat.
he's already fat.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he got
surprised
that.
they didn't come down and give him some oxygen halfway through.
Right. I was surprised he didn't have a scooter.
Scooter
Something to
or
sit
a
on.
walker
Yeah.
or like a golf cart. Yeah.
Oh, walker. I like that idea.
I can
I just-
actually hear his knees creaking.
I can't imagine, like, is his whole thing when he's going to step up to the plate to hit DH because he's not going to play in the field, like home run, or just like even when he hits it into the field, he's just walking straight to the dugout otherwise?
I
Like,
guarantee you, he hits a home run. He's running to first, and he's
I
getting
don't
a
know.
pitch run.
I just don't think. I mean, he did all right against lefties a little bit last year, but he's not like like in their lineup. It's an out. Like I don't know why you would add him
He's,
to that.
he's not the same guy that chased Mark McGwire out of town.
right.
Nope.
No.
I mean, I've heard that you like a good veteran presence in your dugout, but man, he's
do you
older
mean?
than the manager by a couple like 10 years.
Can they
Still
make him like
playing.
an assistant batting coach or something?
That's
Offensive
pretty
quality
that's pretty
control.
much what he is.
Right.
But let's get talking about our Cubbies. I don't want to talk about the Cardinals any more than we have to.
So-
Spring training games have been fun. Seiya Suzuki got his first start on Friday with 2 Ks. He got K'd looking both times on really horrible trash calls. He did get the start again on Sunday. Looked pretty good. Good at bats. He worked a full count his first at bat before hitting a ground ball, and then his second at bat, he drove one deep to center, just got under and missed it. But our boy Patty Wisdom looked back into form after struggling the first couple games that he had played. Absolutely unloaded a tank.
I tell you what,
in his
the only
first
way
at
the
bat.
center fielder is catching that if he's got a rocket up his keister.
Yeah, he absolutely obliterated that ball, and it's nice to see the chain out again. And then the next at bat hits another dinger, so 2 dingers on the game on Sunday. And I mean, it's fun to see. It's fun to see Wisdom back. He's going to be one that, I mean, we were talking when we were doing our fantasy draft with Jake and with Cody from CHGO about Wisdom and trying not to get our hopes up on Wisdom. And Jake was like, I just don't have my hopes up on Wisdom that he's going to do anything like he did last year. I mean, if he bats like 224 with 36 bombs, I'll take it. And then Cody's like, that's like Kyle Schwarber numbers. Would you take Kyle Schwarber? He's like, well, I guess. Yeah. Like that is something we would take that. And so that's like for Patrick Wisdom, we're going to have to deal with our strikeouts. The place where he gets beat constantly is up in the zone. So hopefully he's worked on that over the offseason. He can attack those pitches. If he can handle up in the zone, he's going to be doing that all year long. And we're going to enjoy a lot of balls flying out of Wrigley. So,
yeah. So 224 and 36 bombs, or 224 and 36 hit into double plays,
or just Ks. He's the one that I'd rather just K than hit into double play.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that we're gonna have a decent year out of Schwarber, or out of not Schwarber. I would love to have Schwarber back. Out of Wisdom, I think he's gonna do well. Plays great defense, but you can see the first couple of spring training games, Wisdom just looked off. His timing was off, so it was good to see that he got those 2 dingers on Sunday. Get his timing back on. But that game, they were down 12-1 at one point.
Right.
And the Young Bucks, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, Ed Howard coming in with 2 hits. PCA had a great play out in center, but rallied back with a 13-12 win on Sunday. So it was good. And there's a game going on currently right now. Cubs are playing the Reds. Stroman on the mound. Can I get something off my chest? Can I be vulnerable with you guys?
We're here for you, Mitch.
I think I'm in love with Clint Frazier.
Right?
I think the red hair's doing it for me.
Kevin, you and I should be worried.
Right? Oh, that's true.
The red beard. I mean, it's hard, the little nose ring. I'm liking Clint Frazier.
I think, folks, if you're watching live, you're just going to have to keep an eye on Mitch as the season goes on. Does he start dyeing the beard red?
Well, I might go full Clint Frazier. I'm on the Clint Frazier hype train. Right. I am going to be riding that all season long because he's going to have a big year. Get him out of New York and get him comfortable. Love it.
Swatching him play is interesting. That batting stance, where he's all like so twisted. The first time I saw that when he hadn't swung the bat yet, and I just saw it and I was like, what in the world? And then when you see him bring that bat through the zone so quick, it's like, oh, I think I know what's going on here. He's got a plan.
Looking than Andre Dawson.
I saw a tweet that somebody put out that asked, like, when he was with the Yankees, somebody asked Aaron Judge, like, man, you hit some massive bombs. And he's like, you haven't seen Clint Frazier hit some massive bombs in BP. Like, you need to see that guy. That's the guy that hits massive home runs. Stanton and I, like, we're nothing compared to Clint Frazier. So I mean, you just gotta give him a chance. I mean, I think once he gets that chance here in Chicago, I think we're gonna fall in love. Just like me, I'm gonna be head over heels for Clint Frazier.
Yeah, I kind of like him. He's been leading off a lot to get a lot of plate appearances, and I've kind of liked it. He's been working some really good at bats, getting on base, either walking or getting a good hit. A lot of doubles.
Yeah, double tonight to lead off the game.
Yep, so awesome to see.
But our we're going to dig in a little bit more. Last episode, we talked about our outfield, but we're going to dig in a little bit further just because there's a lot to unpack before the season starts and we get to opening day. And we did have on Twitter, Colton Cubs at Colton Cubs posed the question. So Hayward is getting cut, right?
Yeah.
What,
I think so.
What are your thoughts? Do you think, I don't think it's going to happen, but what are your thoughts? Do you think he should? Where are you at, Jeffrey?
My thoughts is there's a lot of other teams that are paying players not to come to the ballpark anymore. I think it'd be all right if we did that with this one.
Bobby Bonilla?
Right.
Jacoby Ellsbury, Johnny Damon, name a few. So, like, I started digging into his stats a little bit. His best year at the plate was in 2015 when he spent half the year in Atlanta and half the year in St. Louis. He hit 293. And I take offense to that. He's really around, I think his lifetime average is like, it's below 250.
Yeah.
Like, he bounces between the 220, 260. And if the trend is right, the way I was looking at the way he's hit for average every season, like this year's going to be a decline year. I wasn't really impressed when he came in 2016 and hit poorly at the plate. Yeah, I know. I've heard the story. He gives a raving motivational speech in a weight room. But there's other people that could be our clubhouse leaders. There's other veterans on this team. We don't need a guy plugging up a spot in the lineup that can't hit and hits in more double plays than anybody else.
I did have to give quite a few Skittles to my daughter Wrigley last year when I made the bet that for every time he rolled the ball over to second base, I'd buy her Skittles, and she made a lot of Skittles.
Right. I don't see the Cubs cutting him. They're going to keep him on the roster. I don't know. There's a couple different angles to why they would, but one of them that's kind of going through my head right now is we just saw last year getting rid of so many veteran players, so many beloved Cubs players, and the not just Twitter, but the community reaction to that. I don't know if maybe they would be honestly afraid to cut another veteran to get somebody else out of there. And we've got some guys we love seeing on the field. They've got good energy, but a little wildfire, a little sparks kind of on the team. I think they're going to want Hayward there to kind of keep Stroman and Contreras maybe a little more grounded. I don't see them. I have a feeling they're going to keep him there. He's going to be on the team for a while. I honestly think it would have to be Hayward himself saying, like, taking himself out before the Cubs would get rid of him.
Where do you see Hayward spending most of his time when he does get playing time?
Oh, I'm guessing center field would be my guess.
And that's the way it should be. I think Seiya should get all the starts in right field.
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't pay that kind of money. I mean, we're paying that kind of money for Hayward, but we didn't give that like he needs to get the starts right away. We need to see what we have in Seiya.
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't see him out in center is if Seiya got hurt or absolutely had an atrocious start to the season. But honestly, I think with Seiya, considering where we're at in the not rebuild, like even if Seiya starts slow, you got to give him that time.
Why did you air quote the not rebuild, Kevin?
Well, because it's not a rebuild. Some people say it's not. It's a retooling. Yeah,
I'll retool you.
Yeah, get your words right, Kevin.
Yeah, sure. Yep. It's like, yeah. Anyway,
my thing is like, say Ortega, he's 30 years old. He has a career OPS of 680. That's basically the same production as Jason Hayward. I know Ortega last year could not hit lefties at all. Like, I mean, at all. But this year in spring training, you've seen him. Like, yeah, Ross is throwing him in there, I think 3 times against lefties to get the start. And he's at least put the ball in play.
Right.
The lead off the game on Sunday, he against a lefty, just line drive right to the first baseman. It got caught, but it was a great solid contact. If he can figure out how to hit lefties, Ortega is a serviceable center fielder. Is he going to be the future center fielder? No, that's going to be either PCA. That's going to be your Brennan Davis when he comes up. That's going to be the long term. But for this year, I mean, I would rather see Ortega go up there. We know what we have in Hayward. I mean, I get, like you said, like clubhouse leader thing. Like, I mean, we got Andrelton Simmons. He's old. He seems like he's been a clubhouse leader in other teams. Couldn't he be that?
I mean,
The only
perhaps.
thing I think of is that the biggest job that Jason Hayward's going to have this year is that I think he's respected enough in the clubhouse and probably respected enough by Stroman that once Stroman might get a little like we go through that. I mean, everything's like hunky dory. Everything's like good with Stroman now in spring training because we're not losing any games. But once we go on that stretch when we start losing and Stroman gets on edge and starts calling out his teammates, which he's done everywhere he's gone, that's when you're going to need a Jason Hayward to come say the things that maybe Ross can't. And he's respected enough that he can maybe get that message through. That's like, I think what Hayward, so it's like we're paying him crap ton of money.
Yeah,
It's either pay him to do that or pay him $20 million to bite the bullet and say, see ya, and DFA him.
Yeah. And considering how volatile Chicago media can be, I think we really want somebody like Hayward to kind of keep Stroman on the even keel or as much as you can. I mean, we want that fight on the field. It's the fight off the field that we want to kind of minimize or keep a little less. Yeah, I don't know. He's going to end up being with the team when we leave camp. But I agree with you. I don't think him being on the team means we should lose a guy that doesn't have minor league options.
Yep. I agree. We have another comment from Andy_BB on Twitter. It says Hermosillo deserves an opportunity to break camp with the Cubs. Two problems, Hayward and Ortega. Who's the odd man out? What is your thoughts, Kevin?
This is where Hermosillo had the Little League home run the other day, didn't he?
He did.
And then he had like a slide in double. I think his next at bat after that. I don't see. This is where with the expanded rosters and some other stuff. I know a lot of people are calling like teams are going to carry extra pitchers, but I think we're going to see an extra outfielder actually to start the season because they can go a few games before they need that extra long reliever or somebody else to fill in. So I see them carrying a guy who may not have an option a little bit longer into the season than you might think. I definitely want to see Hermosillo get some playing time. He's a lot of fun to watch when he plays too. That's one of those ones with Ortega. He doesn't always strike me as electric on the field. It's one of those guys who kind of goes through his job, goes through the motions, does everything right, just doesn't strike me as like, I don't know, getting my blood boiling when I'm watching him play or anything like that. I don't know, Jeff, what do you think?
Boy, that's going to be the hardest call. I think that, management and David Ross are going to have to make. I see there's a lot of fight for Hermosillo and himself and Ortega to make a roster spot. You really see him hustling and playing hard, every day. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what I want to watch on TV is players that are going to play hard. Both of them have such a small sample size of what they can do in the majors. But I think they both are serviceable for sure. Honestly, to me, even though I don't really care if Hayward is on the roster, he's going to be on the roster, and one of these guys is going to lose out, and it's going to kind of suck.
Right.
I'm kind of with Kevin. I think that they're all going to kind of make it. I think right now, Hermosillo, here's Hermosillo's stats in the minor league last year. He had 306. This is at AAA. 306, 446 on base, and a 592 slug. He had a 1.038 OPS with 10 home runs and 29 RBIs in 43 AAA games. before the promotion to the Cubs, and short time with the Cubs, had a couple bombs, played some good outfield, made an amazing catch against the White Sox. I like Hermosillo. He's a hometown guy.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be here. He has something to prove. I think that he needs to get as much playing time as we can possibly get. The hard thing is with Hayward in the mix of center field, and we have Clint Frazier who is tearing the cover off the ball. Hap hasn't really done much this spring. He's coming off a little bit of a surgery. Is Hap gonna be put on the injured list to start the season? Is that something that is an option? And just get him some ABs somewhere else, and then they could like rehab him at Iowa for a little bit. I think that's going to be an option that might actually come out. We'll see this last week of how many games that Hap gets into, but it's hard to, with the mix of last year as Hermosillo and Ortega bouncing back and forth. Hermosillo getting most of the bats against lefties, and then Ortega getting most of the ABs against righties. I don't know. Like I want to see Hermosillo. If he's going to make the roster, I want to see him playing. And I don't know if he'll get enough bats to kind of get in the flow of things like last year, where he was kind of playing once every 4 days, just when a lefty was on the mound.
Right.
So
I think a hard part right now is all of these guys are doing the right things in camp right now. Like they're making it hard. They're doing their jobs. They're making it hard on management and on Ross to really figure out who doesn't have it and who does, because they're all doing the right things. Yeah, the problem I think we're all going to have is no matter the decision made, whether it's now or farther into the season, there's no decision that's going to make everyone happy. Like some people are going to want Ortega, maybe he's the guy out. Some people are going to like Hermosillo, maybe he's the guy out. Who knows?
Yeah, the other big one is that Andy Beebe asked was, I guess he didn't ask, but I want to ask about Rivas. Is Rivas gonna get a chance to make the opening day roster? What do you think? He's got quite a bit of playing time in spring with Schwindel that had a little bit of a back injury or back tightness. You see Schwindel in there yesterday. What are your thoughts? Do you want to see Rivas making the opening day, or do you want to see him getting at bats down at AAA and still having him develop?
That's another hard one. Yeah, love what he's done when he's been up with the club and in spring training so far. And I think he's honestly for his I'm saying projection, but that's not, I'm losing a word. Totally gone. I think he needs major league at-bats to progress. Unfortunately, I think he will be squeezed out and will end up down at Iowa, which then we get to watch him play. But I have a feeling the way the roster is going to be squeezed, he's going to end up at Iowa to start the season, and maybe he would be a late call-up or a later call-up to spell Schwindel or get some DH depending on where we're at with who's all out there.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at him, especially when I look at like the last couple of years, our lineup, the best way to kind of describe it is maybe all or nothing. Like we've had so many guys that either hit home runs or they're not doing anything. We've kind of had to kind of ride the roller coaster of we go through stretches of 4 games where we're not hitting the ball at all, and then we go through 2 games where we're tearing the cover off the ball and putting up 12 runs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And something that this lineup definitely has is there's balance. There's diversification of the lineup where we have guys that do different things. A lot of contact bats, and Rivas is that. I mean, Rivas has a career on base percentage of .393 in his minor league career with a K rate of 20%, which is league average is 25%, and he has a walk percentage of 13%, which major league average or minor league average is 9%. So he's doing the things that you want to see of getting on base. It's just, is there going to be a spot for him? And I don't want to see him be on the Cubs bench and not get the ABs that he needs or deserves.
Right.
He's still young. I know if Jake was on, he'd be yelling at me because he would want Rivas making the opening day roster, but I kind of see him as a little bit different than like Hermosillo, a little bit different than Ortega, because Rivas is a little bit younger and a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more in development, and it's like he has a little bit of an option there where we can have him go down and get that. So yeah, that's where I kind of want to see him. The last topic of podcast is our starting rotation. Should Mills be a starter, or should the spot go to Steele or Smiley? What's your thought there, Jeffrey?
I think Mills goes to the pen to start. I mean, we kind of know what we got with him, and we know that he's a professional enough that if they need him to make a spot start due to an injury or somebody's got to push out a scheduled start, that he'll go in and pitch and, get us 5-6 innings. I really think Justin Steele needs the starts to develop. If you look at their stats, granted, Justin Steele has less starts than either one of the other two. They basically are pretty close. Like the ERA, it's real close. I mean, they're all three, like 4, a little over, a tick over 4.
Alec Mills' ERA last year was 5.07. Smiley was 4.48, and Justin Steele was 4.26.
Yeah, so he was a little bit better than the other two. I honestly, I don't see how like sending him down to Iowa to further develop would help him much facing AAA hitting.
Well, I don't think they would send him down. I think they would move him to the bullpen.
True. I don't know. I think he would benefit more if he was the 5th starter and got.
What's up,
Joey? I faced Joey in the first game of the fantasy baseball. You're going down, Joey.
Teach Mitch how it works there, Joey. You got this.
But yeah, I'm kind of with Alec Mills. If you recall, even last year, he started the season in the bullpen, and he handled it really well. But throughout the season, did he get his starts? He got his starts. And so I think that's what you're going to kind of see this year, or what I would like to see is him start in the pen, be kind of the long guy. Him and Keegan Thompson can kind of be the long guy out of the pen.
Yeah.
And then see what we have in Justin Steele. I mean, I love how he ended the season last year. Pitched a really, really strong game against the Pirates, even though it's the Pirates. He pitched a really, really great game. But you see him in spring training so far. In 2 starts, he's pitched really, really well. He's pitched 4 scoreless innings. He adds something a little bit different than what Smiley, because Steele throws a little bit harder than Smiley. I feel like Smiley and Mills, Smiley's like the left-handed version of Mills. Doesn't throw quite as hard, maybe throws a little bit harder, but keeps the guys a little bit more off balance with a little bit more off speed stuff. I just want to see Steele in there, man. I want to see Steele get as many opportunities as he can. I have liked Smiley, and he, if you recall, was in the Cubs organization a couple of years ago, coming back from Tommy John. Spent last year with Atlanta, pitched pretty well. He went 11-4 in 29 games for Atlanta, a 4.18 ERA. I mean, did pretty well. Like, I was watching kind of some highlights of him for Atlanta. He has some pretty good stuff, and he's pitched well yesterday when I saw him. So, I mean, I feel like right now that's who we're going to have to go with. The only thing is, then it goes Cal Hendricks is our 1.
Right.
Stroman is our 2. And then we got Wade Miley, lefty, Smiley, lefty, Steele, lefty. Which, I mean, that's different than probably any other team in the major leagues.
That's kind of my only like hiccup, because I want to see Justin Steele get starts. I think that's where he's going at. Don't give Mitch props.
Oh my God.
Come on, Joey.
Inflate the ego.
Right. I want to see Justin Steele get starts. I think he needs the innings. He needs to work through that development. That was the word I was missing earlier. Work through that development. But I think it is interesting if we're going to end up with 3 lefties starters. It'll be very different. But that's where I wonder if they won't slot Alec Mills in there, or if they won't just plan a day that's like a
Alec
piggyback
Mills day.
Yeah,
We can have a celebration. Alec Mills start
Yep.
day once
and
every
it's always
12 days.
against the Brewers.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. Looking all over our lineup, it seems at times like it's a train wreck because there's so many options and there's so many like who we keep in here, who we keep in there. But at the same time, kind of looking at the lineup, going, I like all of these guys in these different spots. Maybe things are going to work out.
Yeah. And we talked about even last week that this is where we're going to see who David Ross is as a manager, because he has a lot of guys that he's going to have to buy playing time. They're going to be fighting for playing time, that he's going to have to balance playing time so guys don't get cold. But I still want him to play the hot hand.
Mm-hmm.
He has young guys that need time to develop. So he has his work cut out for him, which I'm excited to see. Us as Cubs fans, and if we believe in Ross, this is what we kind of want. We want to see this year, because, I mean, they're not going to win more than 80-ish games. They're not going to probably make the playoffs.
Mitch is a hater. We get it.
I'm just trying to be realistic. And so if that's the case, if that's the outlook that we think that they are, or the ceiling, then we need to look at this as the year of transition. We need to see what type of manager David Ross is. We need to see who Steele is. Is he going to be in this rotation in the future? And that's who we need to be given the time to, not Alec Mills. But to end tonight, we're going to do a little bit of this or that stadium food edition.
Yummy.
We're basically turning into a food podcast, because earlier we talked about Jeffrey and is making his Chicago deep dish pizza. Bingo, bango, there it is.
Pretty sure Jeff is building something with the out of Legos right now.
Which looked really good. So I'm gonna put two foods that's like the food of that stadium. Like if you're gonna go to the stadium, this is like their like best food that they promote at their stadium. So the first one we're gonna throw up is the slider dog from Progressive Field, which is a beef hot dog, pimento, macaroni and cheese, bacon, and Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, which the Fruit Loops, that's kind of weird.
You had me up till that.
Right? I'm going with the other.
Or the bottom line donut burger from Citizen Bank Park. It's a burger patty, glazed donut, cherry pepper jam, American cheese, and bacon.
I'm going with that.
You're going with
I'm going with the burger.
You know, though, when I'm at the field, though, like I want a hot dog. I think I got to go with the slider dog. Even with the Fruit Loops on it, it's weird. I have a feeling it must work if it's their deal, but I got to go with the hot dog. I don't know.
You and your phallus-shaped foods, I swear.
Yeah, I for this one, I'm going to have to go with the slider dog. Nice. We'll try it out. We'll give it a... It's got macaroni and cheese. If I can quote my favorite childhood movie star, Macaulay Culkin, I'll give it a whirl.
There you go.
Next is a fried donut sundae from Fenway Park. It's a fried donut, ice cream, whipped cream, chocolate sauce versus Tres Leches. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Milkshake from Yankee Stadium.
I'm going with the
cake pieces, which Tres Leches is a cake. It's like a Hispanic cake. Some of my students was teaching me this. It's like a soft crumble cake, and then it has a churro piece in the top of it. Where are you going to go with?
I'm going with the fried dough sundae from Fenway Park.
Yeah. No, I got to go with the milkshake. We had a churro down at Animal Kingdom. Because
Kevin's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Boys to the yard.
No, we had a churro down at Animal Kingdom and Disney, and it was amazing.
Get it, Jeffrey.
Did they serve it to you in a Mandalorian hat?
No, this was at Animal Kingdom. It's all, Disney animals.
Whatever, nerd.
All right, next. I'm gonna have to go with the Tres Leches milkshake, Yankee Stadium. I think I'm gonna have to go with that. All right, next. Your favorite and Jeffrey's favorite, Skyline Chili from Great American Ballpark, or the 18-inch hot dog from Chase Field. It's an all-beef hot dog, bratwurst, and a variety of toppings, or the secret recipe chili, onions, beans, and shredded cheese.
Is there both?
Right.
I think both here.
Well, the Skyline Chili has a hot dog underneath it. It's just not 18 inches. But you wouldn't know.
They both look delicious.
Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna go with the Skyline Chili from Great American Ballpark.
Right.
Yeah, go with something you're used to.
Yep. I think I got to go Skyline Chili as well on this one. God, look at all that cheese shredded on top. I love chili, so I'm all in.
All right, next. And this is where it's going to get me a little bit. Oracle Park Chinese food versus Wisconsin Ultimate Cheese Fry, which it's fries.
Way to pronounce Wisconsin.
Cheese, Wisconsin. Cheese curds, bacon, and cheese sauce. My wife's from Wisconsin, so I got family up there.
So much cheese.
All right, well, hey, tell your folks I said hi.
My thing is, if I'm going to go to a ball game, I'm not eating Chinese food. Come on, get out of here.
I'm going with the Wisconsin Ultimate Cheese Fry.
Yeah,
I got to go with that as well. Though it's going to have some after effects.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, that cheese.
That's why they make pharmaceuticals to help you with your cholesterol.
Yep. You're gonna definitely have to take some X-Lax to get. That's. You might be. Sitting on the pot
cheese
for a
ball
while.
in your gut.
All right. Next is the peanut butter and bacon sandwich from Target Field. It's peanut butter, bacon, strawberry jelly, and sourdough bread. Versus the Cuban sandwich from Tropicana Field: ham, pork salami, Swiss cheese, mustard, pickles, and a toasted Cuban bread. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Cubano from Tropicana Field.
Yeah, I have to go with that as well. I like the idea of the peanut butter and bacon sandwich, but imagining being at the ballpark, that combination, if it's really hot out, doesn't
hot day
hit me.
and peanut butter. You're gonna have to wash it down with a nice cold Toppling Goliath beer.
Absolutely.
I can tell you right now, I don't like wearing dark colored shoes, so I'm in a pair of white sneaks at the ballpark, and there's going to be a glob of strawberry jelly on the toe. I'm not dealing with that.
So the good thing about when I was doing this, my wife was watching me put this together and pick food, and she had a really good idea. She's like, hey, we should this summer, once a week, make one of these ourselves. Ooh. And watch a game together. And I was like, I am so down for that. That is a great idea. You should get on that.
Okay.
I've actually made a Cubano sandwich before. Turned out decent.
I like this peanut butter and bacon sandwich. I was like, this would be a great morning breakfast food.
Right? That does sound like a really good breakfast food.
It does.
I'm all about this.
They ever do like a 9 a.m. wacky start, like double header day or something? I would be all about the peanut butter and bacon sandwich.
Joey, he's wanting both desserts and the dog.
Nice.
Next, we got, I put this one in just for Jeff because I feel like if he can consume alcohol in a different way, this is the way maybe he needs to go about. It's Party Pops from Oakland. They're popsicle molds, but laced with different alcohol. You can get the Moscow Mule, or you can get the Southern Belle. It has a little bit of, what is this one? Whiskey and natural flavors, vodka, or we can go with the most boring and basic dumb food at a ballpark that you could ever get. It's like all these other ones, like nice, interesting ethnic food. You got to get like the food of the region. No, what do you get from St. Louis?
Pizza.
A mega slice of pizza.
And it looks like Pizza Hut pizza, like with the pepperonis on top that are probably burnt to a crisp.
God, what a boring town. I'm gonna go with the booze infused popsicles.
Yep. If I had to choose, I'm going with a Moscow Mule because that
Yeah,
sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that looks really
Well,
good.
I'm gonna try all of them, especially if it's hot as shit.
Well, when
See, like keep them coming.
when I get Lindsay to make these this summer for us, I will invite you over. Unlike you inviting me over for the Chicago deep dish pizza,
Yeah,
because I'm a
real
better
friends.
friend.
Real friends.
Maybe I'll bring over deep dish pizza. I don't know.
Oh.
We'll see what happens. But when I was out in Denver, and they had hospitality night, so a bunch of different companies had like different rooms, and they each were serving food and drinks. They had this one that it was candy, and they made booze infused sundaes. So I had an old fashioned sundae that was straight gas. I mean, I was breathing fire.
Yikes.
All right, next one. We have the smothered French fries from Guaranteed Right Field. French fries, Euro meat, feta cheese, bacon, shredded chicken, and way, way, way more. Versus bone and smoked beef short ribs from Nationals Park. Lots and lots of meat.
I'm going to go with the bone and smoked beef ribs. You know me. I like my protein.
That picture makes them look good, but I don't know. I can't imagine that every day those ribs are fantastic. Like there's got to be a couple times where they get
like
a little
day.
tough. Yeah, a little tough or something. You know, smothered fries. That's always going to be good.
Yeah. But it is from the south side, so I don't know.
Yeah. You make a good point.
But they do look really good.
You never know what that Euro meat is.
Yeah,
from the south side.
They do look really good in that picture. I will give them that. So
that was the 14th attempt.
The last one, the barbecue burger from Kauffman Stadium. You got Kansas City steak burger, cheese, pulled pork, onion ring, and barbecue sauce versus the Bayo to the pork at Wrigley Field. Pulled pork, Bayo bun, pickled dakan and carrot, cucumbers, and jalapeno relish. And you don't have to be a homer and go with the Wrigley Field one, but this was rated one of the best ballpark foods. Just saying.
I have never had bad food in Missouri.
I'll go with the steak burger, but I'm gonna be wearing some of that.
Right? Yeah. That's one of those ones you get it in a basket and you have to do this awkward hunch and you don't come up from the hunch until you finished it and licked your fingers off already. Like,
yeah.
And you're eating it as quickly as possible because your head's down at a baseball park and that's just bad idea. So
right? You only get caught with a.
I feel like either one of these, like you're gonna go get. I mean, think about this: you're at the ballpark, you're like, I'm a little hungry, and you go to the concourse, you get your burger, one of these, you get back and you start eating it. And then you're getting barbecue sauce all over your hands. And you're like, I'm going to have to go wash my hands.
Sneakers.
White sneakers are all a mess. And then you're going to have to leave. And you're just missing the game. So, like, I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
you're wearing your pinstripes, trying not to get anything on them. Like,
now, if I was in a box seat, all day.
Oh, yeah.
All day.
Oh, yeah.
Just crushing.
Just crushing these.
Just foundered from eating.
Yeah. So, but I think I'm going to go with the barbecue burger from Kauffman Stadium. The onion ring, I don't know, but that just looks super good.
I love onion rings.
So that's what I'm going to go with.
Kevin's going to cheat on his wife for the best of onion rings.
So she hates the smell of Funyuns, and I love Funyuns. So
if you want to mess with her, I'd just open up a bag and slide it under the bed.
Well, so if I go get gas, like to fill up the car before I go to carpool or whatever, like I'll get a bag of Funyuns and I'll eat it like from the drive from the gas station back home. And Christy, I'll walk at the door and she's immediately like, "You got Funyuns. I can smell it."
Yeah.
Like, how'd you know? I finished it 4 blocks ago.
Most wives are, why do you smell like booze and strippers, but not Kevin's wife?
Right. Yeah. You ate Funyuns.
Well, that was fun. did a little bit of this or that stadium food edition. So
Yeah, now I'm
if you're out
hungry.
to the ballpark, I'm excited to get down to Des Moines to Principal Park. We're going to be heading down there the 12th for their opening night. We're going to be doing a podcast live from Principal Park. We're going to have to get, I don't know what their like best stadium food is. I'm going to have to hit up Alex Cohen and ask him what their best stadium food. We're going to have to put that
They do
on the
have-
pod.
They do have a really nice tenderloin, but I think
Ooh.
they've got a
Oh.
Chicago dog too.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with the tenderloin. We are in Iowa.
Right.
that's right.
Classic.
I do love me a nice tenderloin. So if there's any listeners from Iowa that knows where there's a good one, I will drive however far for good food.
So, but we'll be down in Principal Park taking in the Iowa Cubs that night and doing a podcast live. Next week, we have our prediction episode, which we've done for the last 2 years. We're excited. And one of our predictions will be who has the most dingers. And if you remember last year, we had our dinger challenge. Kevin is the reigning dinger champion, pick a player each day who we think is going to hit a dinger. If we get it right, we get a point. Kevin is the reigning champion.
Recap.
Although
Still
I
waiting
did make
on
a
the
little bit of a
trophy.
comeback last year. I'll get you a championship belt. We don't do trophies around here.
Oh, I like the belt idea.
Actually, I think the deal was whoever won had to take the other two guys out for dinner.
That's totally not how that
You're
works. I believe it was the
you're
other way
hungry.
around.
All this food is making you hungry, isn't it, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I'd go for some prime rib right now. Not gonna lie.
Nice.
But we'll do our prediction episode, and then next week is opening day. Is going to be next week. We're excited. We're pumped, ready for some Chicago Cubs baseball. But yeah, go follow us on Twitter at Dinger Cubs, and go follow our Shy City Sports or subscribe to our Shy City Sports YouTube, and that's where you can get more Dinger content and Chicago Cubs content, as well as all your Shy City Sports with the Bulls, Blackhawks, Bears content as well there. Yeah, thanks for listening, and go Cubs.